Charis, shalom. Welcome to Heinrich Edgecome Art. Today we are painting Wisteria in watercolor, and I have to tell you, this is one of those subjects that looks incredibly complicated. But once you understand a few simple principles, it actually becomes very achievable, even for beginners. If you've ever tried to paint Wisteria and ended up with something that looked more like purple broccoli, then this video is for you. The materials used are listed in the description below. So remember to have your masking fluid and an old brush or masking brush and a bit of soap ready. You will also need a bit of ordinary table salt. The arch paper is on the block and it is flat on the table. We have a simple sketch and we kept the ratio of thirds in mind. So the path will also create perspective, so it narrows towards the top and it is slightly off center. If you put the path smack in the middle of your painting, it is going to cut your painting in half, and that is definitely not very good on the eyes. It is useful to pour a little bit of masking fluid into a bowl to avoid contaminating the contents of your bottle. Keep the bottle closed if not in use. Roll the brush on some baby soap and then pick up some masking fluid. The soap helps to keep the gum fluid for longer and to preserve the bristles of your brush. Add the masking fluid where you want to preserve the white of the paper. When you're done, rinse the brush immediately and let the masking fluid dry thoroughly. Once the masking fluid is dry, we will start with the background. Wet the entire paper with a large brush. Give the water a few minutes to soak in. If you can still see surface puddles, the paint will spread out of control. And this will of course depend on your paper and atmospheric conditions. So just give it time. The sheen should basically be off the paper. Use the large brush to add cobalt, ultramarine and cerulean to the sky area and the areas next to the path. Keep it light and gentle. This brush holds a lot of moisture, so you can dab it on a paper towel if you find that it's too wet. When you lightly dab the paint and not spread it deliberately with a brush, it will flow gently and create soft edges with some white in between. Vary the three blues so that you don't have a consistent background color. The blues on the sides will also act as a base for the greens you will create later on. While the background dries slightly, you can use a smaller brush to paint the first layer of the path with raw umber. Because the water has settled a bit, the raw umber does not flow out into the sides. Water control is very important. We want to create harmony in our colors, so we add a bit of raw umber into the bushes and a touch of pearl red to create a beautiful rusty brown. The colors still spread because the paper is wet, but it's a controlled spread. The paper is wet or damp, not soaking wet. Now we will start with the greens. Leave a slight space between the arch and the yellow addition so you can add the violet later. Add a light touch of imby yellow just above the arch. Charge it with a few drops of blue so that it becomes a more natural green that doesn't scream at you. Add the darker green apatite. The closer you come to the front, the more intense the colors become, as you want to create distance and depth. With the following layers, you will build the pigment to intensify the colors and contrasts. Next up is manganese violet. Your paper is still wet, so add drops of the violet into the open space and allow it to spread a bit. Remember that you can use your own choice of violet or mix your own. To give you some more intense color, you can add a little bit of ultramarine. Now we can add a few sprinkles of salt into the bushes, and that is also there just to create interest. Let your painting dry thoroughly. Remove the salt gently. You don't want to rub off the masking fluid at this stage, and if some of the salt remains, you can remove it later. Now we're going to start with some detail. The masking fluid is still on the paper, so you can still paint over it without worrying about it. Use a brush with a fine point, like this Winsor & Newton pointed round brush. Play around with the blues and the violet to create variation and interest. You really don't want a flat, consistent color here. Place the wisteria clusters in loose teardrop shapes. A wisteria hangs in these beautiful drooping cascades, so think downward movement. And don't try to paint every single flower. We are suggesting, not describing. A few gentle dabs and dashes, and let the brush do the work. Vary the mixes, sometimes more blue and sometimes more violet, so the color comes alive. Watercolor should always have variation in it. Extend the branches with some green. Add a bit of blue to the green for a cooler color, which will create distance. Let the painting dry again. Our next step is the shadows on the path. Shadows are never just black. It reflects the colors around it. So we are mixing a brownish purple to use on the path. Use raw umber and some violet to create your shadow color. This mix should be a bit thicker and your brush can be a bit drier, as you want to have the streaky dry brush effect here. Use the belly of the brush to draw the shadows. Not exact, just suggestions. Add a bit of green apatite genuine to your purple mix to create a dark shadow green for the sides of the path, and then add the green and some blue as your next layer to the foliage. Using the blue, Van Dyke brown and the purple and raw umber mix will create variation in your shadows as well, which will make your painting a whole lot more interesting. If you find that your color is too strong, you can always dab it out with a paper towel. Let the painting dry. Once it is completely dry, you can use a rubber cement eraser or your fingers to remove the masking fluid. Make sure all residue is removed from the paper, and you will notice that you now have some stark white areas with hard edges. You will use these to create the more realistic looking parts of your painting. Add a watery mix of pearl red to the bush on the left and some violet to the one on the right. You will build the color into beautiful contrasts a bit later. Don't cover all the white. The little bit of white that you preserve will bring light into your painting. Continue building a few dark accents by adding touches of the colors from your palette. Each layer will add a bit more interest and variation. Remember to always keep a light touch. Darker color for deeper shadows and lighter layering to enhance the contrast. Watercolor is a gentle medium. Thick, hard strokes will ruin your painting. You can soften some edges with a damp brush if you feel that they are too sharp. Step back and look at your painting. At this stage, less is more. It is very tempting to keep going, but watercolor rewards restraint. If you keep adding, you will lose the freshness that makes this medium so special. And there we have it, Wisteria in watercolor. I hope that you enjoyed painting along with us today and that this gave you a little more confidence to tackle floral subjects. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and share it with a friend who loves to paint. It really does make a big difference to this channel, and I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to watch and to paint along. Thank you so much for watching. Vaya con Dios.